Hey, welcome to Cloud Every Day from the CTO Advisor. I'm Joe Peterson. I am the Vice President of Cloud and Security for Clarify 360. I'm also the Chief Analyst at ClearTech Research. Today, we're going to talk about Azure Network Security Groups, or NSGs. An Azure Network Security Group is a core component of Azure Security Fabric. Leveraging an NSG, you can filter traffic to and from Azure resources that you've commissioned on an Azure Virtual Network, or VNet. At its core, an NSG is effectively a set of access control rules you assign to an Azure resource. You can use an Azure Network Security Group to filter network traffic between Azure resources in an Azure Virtual Network. A network security group contains security rules that allow or deny inbound traffic to or outbound traffic from several types of Azure resources. For each rule, you can specify source, destination, port, and protocol. Security rules are evaluated and applied based upon the 5-tuple, and that is source, source port, destination, destination port, and protocol information. You can't create two security rules with the same priority and direction. A flow record is creating for existing connections. Communication is allowed or denied based on the connection state of the flow record. The flow record allows a network security group to be stateful. So if you specify an outbound security rule to any address over port 80, for example, it's not necessary to specify an inbound security rule for the response to the outbound traffic. You only need to specify an inbound security rule if communication is initiated externally. The opposite is also true. If inbound traffic is allowed over a port, it's not necessary to specify an outbound security rule to respond to traffic over the port. You can't remove the default rules, but you can override them by creating rules with higher priorities. And you can do this with augmented security rules, service tags, or application security groups. So what are a couple next steps for you to learn more? You can see the virtual network integration for Azure services. You can learn how traffic is evaluated with network security groups by going to how network security groups work within the Azure Network Security Group tool. If you've never created a network security group, you can complete a quick tutorial to get some experience creating one. If you're familiar with network security groups and you need to manage them, you can get information on manage a network security group. If you're having communication problems and need to troubleshoot network security groups, you can go to a resource called Diagnose a Virtual Machine Network Traffic Filter Problem. Or you can learn how to enable network security group flows to analyze network traffic to and from resources that have associated network security groups. If you like my content, ring my bell on my profile so that you're the first to see my post. You can follow me on Twitter at ClearTech Today. You can follow me on YouTube at ClearTech Research. Or if you need cloud security or cybersecurity sourcing assistance, Clarify 360 has you covered. Thanks for joining.